In this video, I want to give you my take on scripting, how I script, and when are the times that I would suggest scripting. Because yes, scripting is a manifestation tool that is very easy to understand and very easy to do, but it's not the most practical one. And for me, it's not my go-to method because I can't say that you have to script in order to manifest. You really don't. But there are times where it comes in really handy, and I am going to explain to you when that is and why that is. So, scripting is, if you know affirming, and I assume you do, but if you are very new to manifestation, we do affirm our desires in present tense as if it's already true in order to basically get it in our heads that it's already true so that it manifests. Because what manifests on the physical are the things that we already know to be true in our mind. So everything we do in the form of manifestation techniques is for that purpose, to get our mind to accept the truth of it right now. So scripting for me, scripting that I know of is done in two ways in order to manifest. One is that you sit down and you write out the story as if it has already happened. Some call it journaling from the future. You don't need to do that. You don't need to think it that way. But more like writing the story as if it's already happening now. It's today. It's right now. You're writing the story as if it's true right now. And the now is a key in manifesting, regardless of which technique you use, be it affirmations, be it inner conversations, visualizations, feeling, or scripting. So one way of scripting is to write out in details a moment where your desired outcome is already true. That is not how I use scripting, not because it doesn't work. It's a very personal preference. I get bored, to be honest, doing that. But I'm telling you this so that you have a choice. Maybe the other way of scripting that I'm about to talk about won't work for you. Maybe that would seem boring for you. So you can choose here. The way I use scripting is the way I affirm. What I do when I script is simply writing down my affirmations. So it's literally just affirmations. So it's either in a story form or in affirmation form. And why do I do that? Why does scripting actually work? It works because it puts a lot of concentration and focus on the things that you are writing, whether it be the full story or the affirmation or affirmations that you are writing by hand. The act of writing in and of itself doesn't do anything. You always hear me talk about the physical things that you do not having an impact on your manifestation, and this is the case here also. What works through scripting is your mental focus on the things that you are writing down. And when you write it out by hand, you remember it from school. Whenever you writing the stuff by hand made you remember the things better. It's because it's a slow process, and for the whole time that you're writing the sentence, you are invested in that. And when you are writing out, like, let's say affirmations, it's your desire. So there's a lot of things going on. You might imagine the situation as you're writing it. You might feel things. You might get excited. You might even zone out which is a type of a meditation state that scripting can get you into. All of this is not necessary, by the way. It's just things that can happen because you can get really invested in the story that you're writing because it's good, because you desire it, etc. But not necessary. What works for scripting is the focus on it. Just the mental focus is enough. And that is also enough when you are affirming. And the repetition of it. I use scripting in periods when it's either because I'm in the mood, and when I am in the mood and I choose scripting as one of the methods, I do that on repeat every day or several times a day if you can commit to it. It can be tricky to find times, several times during the day to script. No, it's not necessary if you can't. But if you can do it once a day, twice a day, like for example, morning and evening, or morning or evening, then it's a good practice of repetition. It's all there is to it. Let's not overcomplicate it. You don't have to, be in a certain state, feel stuff or imagine stuff. Again, if you do, great. If you don't, just focusing on it and the repetition of it. So that is why scripting works. And by the way, something very important to mention when you choose scripting as a manifestation tool, pay attention that this is something extra that you do. Scripting is not the only thing that I would suggest you do, because you can script once a day, twice a day, even 10 times a day. But in between your scripting sessions, your mind is going to think. So if your thoughts are flowing to the old stories, the old states, and you're not doing anything about it, scripting is not going to help much. It is going to be like going back and forth between your affirmations and your old stories, and we know that scripting or not, it's not going to get you anywhere. In the best case scenario, that gets you in a hot and cold situation, which is frustrating. So if you choose scripting, make sure that it is something that you enjoy doing and that it's the extra thing that you do. It's not the only thing that you're going to do. Again, I'm repeating this because it's important, because your mind is going to think every second of the day. And you can't sit and script for a full day every day. So that can't be the one thing that you do. So your mind, whatever you do in your mind, is mandatory. Scripting is not. Scripting is extra. So that's that. That's for scripting, and that's how I script when I script. Like for me, it's simply affirmations written down. Apart from when I'm actually in the mood of scripting that I choose to do that extra thing to script, when is it actually a good thing to have as a tool? Have it as a tool. That is when you are having bad moments, you're having bad days, you're having negative moments. Your mind is... When you're worried, when you're anxious, when you just don't feel good about your manifestation, you're full of doubts, etc. In those negative moments, even though you know what you're manifesting, of course you know what you desire and what you have decided that you're going to manifest, in those moments your mind is going to be so foggy and all over the place that it's usually very difficult to concentrate and focus your mind on your affirmations, on the desired scenario or whatever, because most of the time it's going to be like you have no idea what you're even thinking. And it is also possible that you, for a period of time that you won't even notice that you're in that state because it's all foggy and really all over the place. As soon as you notice that you are in that state, that you haven't been really noticing what is going on in your head, you haven't really been paying attention to what's going on in your body, what you're feeling, what you're thinking, but you feel like something is off, that is when scripting comes in really handy, because scripting forces you to focus. You can't not focus on your affirmations when you are in the process of writing down your affirmations by hand, letter by letter. You need to create the sentence in your mind, go from one word to the other. So it brings your all focus on that thing that you're writing down. So when you are in that state, that is usually when I would suggest scripting, because it's simply because it forces you to focus. Now, how do you do that? You can either, as soon as you notice that you're all over the place and you have no idea what you've been thinking all day or for a couple of days, sit down and script. Maybe even in that moment, you won't even remember, like, well, okay, what am I scripting? Well, what were my affirmations? You will know. Sit down and write the word that you desire. Like, for example, I don't know, money, wealth, success, etc. And then it will come. Everything will come back. And for that day, or for a period of several days, depending on how long you feel like you want to do it or how long you feel you need to do it, start your day with scripting and end your day with scripting. What scripting does is, when you, for example, start your day in the morning, you take 10 minutes extra in your morning period to script your affirmations. Those 5 to 10 minutes that you spend on focusing on your affirmations, what that does is, first of all, for that period, your mind is clear and focused, which is so important when you're manifesting. But something that is even better is when you're done, for several hours after your scripting session, your mind is going to be on the affirmations. Your affirmations are going to continue playing in your mind, maybe in the back of your mind, but it doesn't matter at this point. And it is going to be easier for you to remember to affirm. And in the same way, in the evening, when you script in the evening before going to bed, you spend some minutes on concentrating on your desired outcome in form of affirmations, or the story form if you choose that. And when you go to bed, it is going to be far easier for your mind to focus on the outcome, on your goal, as you're falling asleep, be it affirmations or any sort of imaginal act. And you can do this during the day also, because as it works the same way for the same purposes, but again, in the same way. So that is essentially how I tend to use scripting. It's when my mind or a client's mind needs to be forced to focus because it's all over the place, because you're distracted, and also, you don't have to wait for you to be anxious and in a negative state to script. Sometimes we can get into that lazy state, like you want your desire and you can manifest it, and you have a lazy moment and you're not affirming, you're not doing anything. That also causes this distracted mind that is foggy, you're not really aware of what you're thinking, etc. As soon as you notice you're in that state, and it doesn't have to feel bad, it's just not focused and you don't know what is on autopilot, but you still manifest. Like, manifestation doesn't stop just because you stop affirming. It just manifests what is on autopilot. So that is why, and that is where scripting comes in handy, that you just make your mind focus on your desire. And again, scripting is not the thing that you will do forever. I certainly don't. I don't script when I'm manifesting anything from the start until it comes. Unless you really like it, you really enjoy it, go ahead and do it because it's just like affirming. But otherwise, it's not the thing that I say you must do. It's just a tool. For a period, it's just a helping hand for a period. And then what is necessary is your mind and your imagination and your thoughts. That's that's all there is to scripting, actually. There's no hocus pocus. It's all about just literally just making you focus. So that is all there is. And please let me know in the comments if you have questions about scripting that I didn't think of and I didn't explain and answer in this video. I would love to help you out with it, and see you in the next video.